Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos. I'm going to start this project off with this sign that I got at a thrift store for $2 and this home chipboard from Hobby Lobby. So the first thing I'm going to do is give this welcome sign a few coats of white paint. You can use white chalk paint or you can use acrylic, and I let it dry in between each coat that I did. I really wanted to make sure that that background was covered. You can use chalk paint, but I'm going to use rub-on transfers, and I prefer to do them over acrylic than I do to chalk paint. So once I have that all coated well, I'm going to set that aside and do the other coats after that first coat dries. I'm going to take this home cutout, and this is just chipboard, and I'm going to paint this all white. And this is just going to be like a primer because this really absorbs a lot of paint. And I'm going to paint it a different color, so I wanted to make sure that I had a good primer on it. Now that I have all the coats of paint on my sign, I'm going to go around the edges with this purple color. It's like a lilac color. And I'm doing just this beveled edge. And after painting for a few minutes here, I decided that I was going to tape it all off instead because it would make the process go faster. So I did that. And then it was easier to paint all of this, and anything that I got of purple on the other sides of the tape edges that seep through, I just kind of touched up with some white paint afterwards. Now that the sign is all painted around the edges, I'm just going to set that aside, and I'm going to come back to this home sign, and I'm going to paint this the same color purple that I just did all of that edging on the sign. And I made sure that I gave this a couple of coats also. And I did all of the edges of it as well. Now that they are both painted and all dry, we can move on to the next step, which is using these rub-on transfers from Timeless Designs. And this is their blooming hydrangeas. And these are so pretty. So I'm going to pick out the design that I want and decide where that I want it. And then I am just going to cut. I'm making sure that I'm getting it exactly how I want. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the design out. And I'm going to do it right over the whole top of the sign here. I'm making sure that it's going to line up and everything is going to go right when I pull the plastic off the back. Then I'm just going to lay it in place. And then just start rubbing it down with the little applicator that you get. Making sure that I get inside all of that little beveled edging and all around the sides. And this edging proved to be a little tedious, like I said, because this is all like a beveled edge. So if it was a flat surface, this would have gone a lot faster. So now I'm just going to take a razor and I'm going to slice the edging so that the middle part lays completely flat. So I'm just going to cut the plastic around. That way there, when I start rubbing some more, it's going to sit flush. And just keep pushing until I get the transfer all adhered. And again, just going around my edging, making sure that I get in between all of the little grooves. And this part is kind of tedious for the sign that I have because of the beveled edge, like I said, but the end result is so amazing. So it was definitely worth my extra effort. So I'm going to use that same razor and start peeling up my transfer and pull it up off the paper. And then just start slowly peeling, making sure that I got every design piece down. Kind of move everything out of my way so I could move the sign. And just slowly peeling up. And some of the pieces are a little thin, like with the writing and the wings on the butterfly. So you want to make sure that you're really careful doing this. And look how pretty that looks. Oh, I love it. And again, I'm going to go around the edges, just again, making sure that all of my transfer is sticking down. Any place that I see, I'm just going to kind of go back over it again a little bit. making sure that I get in those edges. So I kind of utilize this tool a lot, going in and out sideways, moving it in different directions to make sure that I was getting it on there well. And then checking it again. And again, I'm just going to keep doing this until it's all the way around. And I kind of picked a terrible shaped sign to do these transfers on, but I love the way it turns out in the end. And I get to pull the rest of it up, and oh my goodness, I love the way that this turned out. So next I'm going to cut out another piece of the transfer and decide where I want that. So kind of put it up the edge here, and I didn't like it, so I'm going to put it down here and do the same process. Just kind of pushing it down with my fingers at first and then using the tool to apply it. And then I just kind of took transfers that were on the same thing in the same package, and I'm just going to go around and kind of place them everywhere, all over the sign, until the sign was fully covered in all the different transfers. So I cut out bigger pieces, smaller pieces, and kind of just repeated this process for the whole sign until it was completely covered in these hydrangeas, and they were all kind of in different places and turned different directions. And I think that that was the best option for doing these. You could do them in whole sheets like I just did, but I ended up cutting them into smaller pieces like this, and it made the process go a lot faster. And I liked that I had control over how they overlapped each other and things like that. And here you can see where I went in and just added transfers all over. Now I'm going to take my home sign and I'm going to glue that to the center. Well, I loved the way that it looked. I thought that it was a little too much purple, and I felt like the home sign kind of got lost in the background. So once I had it glued on, I just used some Aleene's tacky glue. I decided that I was going to change the color of the sign. So I glue it on, and like, I absolutely love the way that it looks, but I just felt like it got lost in the background. So I'm going to come back in and I painted over the top of it with some black paint. And I really think that that made it pop. I left the sides with the purple, so it kind of has a two-tone look. And I think that just really made it pop. And I absolutely love the way that it turned out. As you can still see the purple on the edging of the letters. So it kind of had the both colors, but you could read the home better. So which do you prefer, the purple or the black? I definitely think that I like the black better, especially with the purple on the edges. Now, this project was a little tedious to make, but I think it turned out absolutely amazing. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you for watching, and as always, don't forget to spread the chaos.